Hi, everybody. Claudia McMullen here from Fluffy Cow Coffee. As you know, we are the only coffee roasting company in the country that supports farm animal sanctuaries. And we love what we do, and we do this by partnering every week with a specific farm animal sanctuary somewhere in this nation. We love our partners, we love what they're doing, and today we're here with the lovely Alli from the Zend in Texas. Hi,
Hey,
Alli.
hello everybody. Hi.
Now, Alli, tell us all about the Zend. Where are you? How are you? How did you come about? Your mission, that kind of thing.
So we are in Justin, Texas, which is right outside, about 30 minutes outside of Denton, so in between Dallas and Fort Worth area. But we had to be enough out in the country where we can do what we're doing. So we found a perfect place out here to do this. It all started about 7 years ago. My husband Justin, who he and I are, he's my partner in all of this. He and I decided to change our lives and go vegan. We had an awakening and realized that our ethics and our morals and our love for animals wasn't aligned with our actions.
Mm-hmm.
After years of being a vegetarian, I was for many years before, but we just became aware of the dairy industry and the egg industry and just some things that we weren't aware of. And that day we decided to go vegan, and it changed our lives forever. It's still our favorite choice that we ever made. And a few months later, we were just discussing what more could we do, to be even more impactful with our choices. And the Zend was born. We decided to start a farm animal sanctuary. So it took us several years to actually get everything to get here where we are now.
Uh-huh.
We sold our home, and my mom sold her home that we built 32 years ago. And together we bought the property that's now the Zend.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I know our mission is just long-term compassionate care to these beautiful animals that otherwise live a very short, sometimes torturous life.
Yes.
And so that's why we're here.
That's awesome. Now tell me, did you have experience with farm animal sanctuaries prior to deciding to start a farm animal sanctuary?
Not really. My whole life I've been a rescuer. I mean, I grew up in a house where my parents let me just bring anybody home. Everybody that needed a home, they were cool with it. So once we got to be adults, Jess and I both, loved animals, and we had a house full of dogs and cats, bunnies, chickens. And it got to
Mm-hmm.
the point where in my friend group, I'm that person that people would call when they would find an animal or something needed, somebody needed help. And it got to the point where people were asking me about goats and pigs. And, Justin kept saying, we're in the suburbs. Like, we don't have any land, we can't do that. So in my head, I'm thinking we just need some land,
Yes. Yes.
it just kind of progressed into, it was just this desire that we had. And we've learned a lot from other sanctuaries. There's
Yes.
a huge network of sanctuaries that once you decide that this is your life now, they open their arms up, and there's hundreds of us across the world that all are networked together. I really looked out to Chris, who's the owner of Austin Farm Sanctuary. We have a mutual friend, and when Justin and I told the world what we were doing, he told me I should reach out to Chris. So Chris is, without his consent, he's been my mentor. that,
Yeah.
that I can reach out to, and they're just great. They're a couple of years ahead of us and have, they're just definitely someone I look up to, when it comes to advice. But we've just learned as we go, and we
Yeah.
do our absolute best. We have a pretty decent a group of a vet team, that we can rely on when we have questions and we need help. But
Mhm.
day in and day out, it's just me and Justin out there taking care of
Jeez.
everybody. Yeah.
We just love the aspect of farm animal sanctuary in that you guys are such a close knit group, and you're mutually supportive of each other, and you'll move heaven and earth to help each other because you're all doing God's work, right? You're
Yeah.
you're giving animals a place to live out their natural lives when under normal circumstances those animals' lives would have been cut short in a pretty awful manner to begin
Right.
with.
There is no competition. We're all on the same team.
Right. I love that. It's not
Yeah.
the case in dog and cat, man.
Yeah. You
But
said that. I guess I'm glad to be in this space. You know, it's a pretty cool place to be.
Yeah, and I don't want to suggest that dog and cats are like, like ruthless with each other or anything, but they're more competitive. There's a lot of competition, and I
Right.
I have never felt in the years doing this, I have never found an ounce of competition with among farm animal sanctuaries,
Right.
which I think is fantastic. So now tell me about your residents. Like, how big is your property? How many residents do you have? And the species.
Okay. So we have just 6.5 acres. So it's not huge, but it's big enough for us to do what we've been doing. We currently have 76 animals, residents, 12 different species. So we've got dogs, cats, chickens, turkeys, ducks, bunnies. We have a tortoise, Arthur, who's just magical, goats, sheep, 6 big farm pigs, 2 donkeys, and 4 longhorn. And I think I covered it.
I think you did.
Yeah, I don't think I'm leaving anybody out.
And I love it because, like, your fan base probably doesn't realize this, but Fluffy Cow Coffee just rebranded.
I love it.
Which coffee did you get?
We got the incognito, which we'll see this week. Smokestack and Charlie did some really precious modeling. Charlie actually took a bite out of the bag and took a taste for himself. Arlo and Jitterbug also posed with the bag of incognito, and then we've got the that's upside down. There we go.
Incognito with the baby pigs. Baby pigs.
Yes. And then we got the UBU, which our models were Pearl and Asha, and we got Lula got in on the action too.
Baby sheep.
Beautiful pictures that they took. And then we also got the Deja Mu, which Justin was in charge of pictures with all the longhorns, and they're impressive. So
I can't even how much we love our branding. We did our first Veg Fest this week.
How'd it go?
Killed it.
Great. I love it.
Like the Salt Lake community, the Utah community, a lot of people don't realize, one, that there's such a thing as Fluffy Cow Coffee, and two, that it's a sister brand to Hugo Coffee, which supports dog and cat rescues. So we go to Veg Fest, and people were so responsive to the bags of coffee because they're so cute and funny, and the names. And then people were like, really like, of course you're the sister brand of Hugo. That's awesome.
Right.
So it's wonderful. It's just great. So we want to make sure your fan base knows that the coffee's really damn good.
It's really damn good. We've really been enjoying it. We even had company over. Justin's mom and dad and grandma came up for the weekend for his birthday, and they loved it. I mean, it really is delicious. It's great.
So let's talk a little bit about the fundraiser, because I forgot to mention like the details. So for your fans, and the Fluffy fans know this, but for your fans, we want to make sure that everybody understands that the fundraiser began Monday morning of this week and ends Sunday at midnight. And we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website. So if you don't drink coffee, that's okay. You can buy a mug. You can buy species-specific swag. You can buy T-shirts. You can buy a tote bag. You can do lots of things to buy. And we donate $2.50 for every single item sold. Not every order, every item.
Awesome.
So we got to get that word out to the fan base. Now, tell me about where your residents, what are their origin stories?
Several. So our all of our big pigs, well, 5 of our 6 big pigs, I should say, are all FFA rescues. Okay. So FFA, Future Farmers of America, is a program that's, it goes all the way down to elementary school age kids in some places, where they get a baby animal as their project to raise. And they fall in love with these amazing animals because they're amazing and they care for them so deeply. And, I can't speak for everyone, but I think a lot of the times they don't really understand the gravity of what it means that after show, they're going to go straight to market. And these babies are 6 months old. And a lot of the kids and their parents, because anyone that's had children knows that you're if your kid gets a project, you're involved, whether you want to be or not. And they bond with these babies. Arlo and Hank actually almost died when they were little, and the mothers of the children nursed them back to health and saved their lives. So there's that bond and that connection. And when it's time to go to market, they realize that my best friend's going to be murdered or killed, and they then kind of scramble to find sanctuary. And there aren't a whole lot of us that take big pigs. It's really hard. I mean, all sanctuaries, just like all shelters, we're full. There's not enough of us. Anytime someone says they want to start a sanctuary, I'm like, yes, like let's save them all, and so FFA, we've had several just emergency situations where, for example, Asha, she's one of our young sheep. We were at the vet and a farmer came in with her and she was like prolapsing or something. He didn't know what was going on, but one of their rams had jumped through the fence and, got to a bunch of their young ewes that were only about 7 months old. So they should not have been pregnant. And they took her back to get x-rays and she had a dead baby in her womb that was rotten. And, he sat there and contemplated, and I kind of was overhearing the whole situation. And, he said, she's only worth $100 to me at market. And the surgery to do the cesarean was $300 to $400. And I ran out to the car and I told Justin what I had overheard. And he said, is this where we go save her? And I said, I think so, so I run back in and I asked the farmer, if we pay for the surgery, can we take her to sanctuary? And this man just broke down in tears and started crying. And he said, yes. And I ran in and literally stopped the vet tech. He was filling the needle to go euthanize her. And I said, stop, we're going to pay for the surgery. And, they know we have the sanctuary, so that he knew that what we were doing. And they went and did the emergency C-section. She only had a 50% chance of survival. But she's made it. She's out there with the girls now and with all her friends. And she's one of the sweetest, kindest souls I've ever known. Her rehab was so extensive. She had to trust us so deeply to care for her. And she was isolated. She was quarantined for almost 3 months while she healed because her wounds were just so crazy. Yeah. And it's all on our social media if you follow us there. But she's incredible. I mean, she's just absolutely a precious, precious girl. So, I mean, it's kind of all over the board. We really try to focus on, more emergency situations, abandonment, going to slaughter, because there is the situation where we get contacted daily for like rehoming. People can't take care of their animals anymore, or, just life happens, life situations change what's going on and they need help. And it's really tricky because we have to save room for the emergencies. If I said yes to every rehoming, we'd have 1,000 animals. So it's really, it's really hard to have to pick and choose like that, because we definitely say no more than we can say yes. And that's just because we can only do so much. And, as a growing organization, one of my main focuses is constantly, getting new monthly donors. That's how we stay in operation, being, 100% donor funded, hosting events and trying to get out. We're going to a Veg Fest this next weekend in Dallas. So hopefully, it's just getting out there and doing things like that to help just raise awareness that we're here and get that support.
That's awesome. Now, Alli, we've talked about this. The next time you go to a Veg Fest, you let me know.
I know. We were going to run it out and see how it went, right?
Right. Because I'm telling you, the sanctuary rescue that we supported last week and therefore did so during Veg Fest, we're writing them almost $600 check.
Woo! That's amazing. Good job. That's great.
Yeah. So let's keep that going. Let's keep that going for the Zend in Texas next time. But see how you do on the Veg Fest and how popular your booth is. But I have to say, my intel was also that our booth was the most popular booth at Veg Fest.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
People were so excited that there's a product that supports farm animal sanctuaries.
Right.
And so, we could be supporting you while spreading the word about the Zend.
I love it.
Yes, 100%. Okay. Now
let's talk this week.
Not enough time, baby. Not enough time for me to ship. I think we brought like 200 bags of coffee down there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. But next time.
Yep.
But so
All
let's
right.
talk about this fundraiser. Now it's Thursday. We have 3.5 more days of the fundraiser. So we have to get the word out to buy over the next 3.5 days, because I want to write you a big old check
We would
on
love
Monday.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
towards that end, let's give me an idea of what kind of impact like a $300 to $500 donation would have.
Right now we have a slight duck situation. So I
Mm.
need, and it's not terrible. It's just the boys and girls. They're getting a little too rough with the ladies. So I've got everybody separated. And before I had 3 duck groups, and now I have 4. I really need to get another hut for their
Okay.
nighttime. I call it duck camp. So where all the ducks are, they go at night to go to bed where they're safe. I've got these really like sturdy huts that they go into to where they, they're just safe from any kind of predators through the night. And they're about $400. So I need to get another one of those.
Okay.
But I mean, $500 is even going towards just feed. We
Sure.
make so many trips to Tractor Supply. Like every time we walk in the door, it's at least $100. And we do that probably 3 to 5 times a week.
Sure.
And hay, right now, stocking up on hay for the winter and having extra funds for that is huge.
Yep.
And just hay costs have kind of gone through the roof over the last year. So it's super impactful. I mean, every single penny, goes right back to them. So there's a lot of ways we spend money, but that getting a new duck hut is definitely at the top of my list.
All right. Well, I like it.
Cool.
I like it. A call to action to get a duck hut.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Now we have our charge for the weekend, Alli. We have to spread the word and get people to buy on the line so I can write you a big old check on Monday and hopefully buy you a duck hut.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Alli, you have a wonderful weekend and fingers crossed that we just kill it this weekend.
Thank you guys so much.
It's our pleasure. It's what we get up for.
I love it. Me too.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Bye.
Bye, honey.